What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz. I'm here for NXT review for January 23rd, 2019. NXT just went off the air about 10 minutes ago, and this was the go-home show to NXT TakeOver Phoenix. Will be happening this Saturday. As we see with all NXT TakeOver go-home shows, we see video packages for the big matches, as in the Women's Championship match, the North American Championship match did not have a video package because they had a face-to-face, but with Tommaso Ciampa and Aleister Black, they had one too. They didn't do a video package on the War Raiders and the Undisputed Era, which I thought was a little iffy. Also, we know it has been announced that at TakeOver Phoenix, Cassius Ohno will take on Matt Riddle for the third time. And we will talk about that tomorrow in our predictions special that we will have for NXT TakeOver Phoenix. Now, this show, speaking of Phoenix, it has been a long time, it feels like, a long time, since the Velveteen Dream has not been on a TakeOver. He was there at War Games, he was there at Brooklyn, I believe he was in Chicago as well, he was in his ladder match at New Orleans, and I believe he was at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia last year. I could be wrong. That may be the last time. No, he faced Cassius Ohno, yeah. Then, of course, the year before that, in 2017, he was at War Games, and I believe he was at Brooklyn 3. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's been a while since Velveteen Dream was not at a TakeOver event, and he will not be on the TakeOver card this coming Saturday. But he did open tonight's show. He grabs the mic and says he has a little sparkle in his eye, something special in his sights, and he waits for no man. Dream says that sparkle is Championship Gold, the North American Championship, but before he could say anything else, Shock the System comes on the PA system, and out comes Bobby Fish and Adam Cole, no Kyle O'Reilly or Roderick Strong, who will be defending their titles at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia against the War Raiders, and Adam Cole says that they are off training and getting ready for that match. Cole says Dream needs to pump his brakes, and 2019 is the year for the Undisputed Era. He, with Bobby Fish, will have gold around their waist. Cole says Dream can continue to dream on. Fish gets on the mic, and the crowd immediately gets a "Shut Up Bobby" chant going. Completely. Like, as soon as he opens his mouth, all you hear is "Shut up Bobby, shut up Bobby." I was just sitting here laughing about that. He basically echoes that Cole says. Dream challenges Fish, but says only if it's okay with Adam. Fish and Adam didn't appreciate that. Fish runs in first and charges in. He gets tossed to the outside. Cole runs in and gets tossed out as well. Dream slowly backs up the ramp and taunts Cole and Fish as he is off on his way. It would be made a main event match of the night would be Bobby Fish versus the Velveteen Dream after this interaction. Next interaction between these guys, I could honestly see Bobby Fish and Velveteen Dream having, if Cassius Ohno and Matt Riddle was not put on the TakeOver card, I could see Bobby Fish and Velveteen Dream but been slid in there as a chance to see which guy would be going for the North American Championship next. But we did get that match tonight, so maybe after the Aftermath show, which will be next week's NXT show, maybe the very next week we could have the winner of the Johnny Gargano Ricochet match be challenged by the Velveteen Dream, and we could have a Johnny Gargano versus Velveteen Dream or Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream match. Not at a TakeOver. It won't be at TakeOver Brooklyn 5 or whatever they're calling it. It would be in probably the March tapings or before, like in the middle of February or the beginning parts of March, where we would see that match. We had Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan versus Fabian Eichner and Marcel Barthel. This was a brutally hard-hitting match. These four guys beat the shit out of each other. We had Lorcan and Barthel, I can't remember, I don't know how you actually say his name, Barthel, when they get started, Barthel with a chop, Lorcan returns fire but gets sent into the corner, Eichner tags in, hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, and he gets a 1 count. Barthel tags back in and 2 stomp away at Lorcan. Eichner backs in, they tried for a double team move. Lorcan leaps away and brings in Burch, who swings away on his opponents. Burch with a leg drop, the headbutt to Barthel. Enziguri, missile drop kick off the top rope. Kip up Barthel back in and hits an air raid crash on Burch. Lorcan and Eichner in the ring now. Lorcan gets turned inside out with a big lariat. Barthel back in, assisted brainbuster by by Eichner on Lorcan. Eichner then hits a nice leap from one rope to the other and nails a moonsault. Barthel with a flying forearm on Lorcan, but he kind of rolls through it and locks in a single leg Boston Crab on Eichner. Look, it was awesome because you had Lorcan up in a powerbomb position, and what is it at? Barthel goes with a flying forearm to him, and he just rolls through and puts Eichner in the Boston Crab. Birch back in and clears out Barthel, but Eichner sends Birch out as well. Lorcan with some big chops to Eichner, running European uppercut, and then leaps to the outside, taking out Birch and Barthel. Eichner with a step-up flying crossbody to the floor, clearing out all three guys. Eichner tries to a springboard in the ring. Lorcan is able to avoid it and roll him up. Birch holds back Barthel for the 1-2-3. During this match, there was a spot where I believe it was Danny Birch had one of the other, I think it was Barthel, just had him like back of the head and just starts wailing him with slap after slap after slap. And those slaps honestly looked like he was just letting him have everything he could. He looked like he slapped him so stiff that the dude is probably going to be feeling that tomorrow. It was that brutal. Had a couple highlight packages for the Women's Championship match, the NXT Championship match. We saw they did mention the Forgotten Sons and the Street Profits, what happened last week. In that one they did, which I'm surprised, and this is what's great about NXT when it comes to highlight packages, like replays of what we saw last week. Last week, if anybody remembers, the Forgotten Sons attacked the Street Profits, and during that attack, the crowd was chanting, "We forgot you," over and over to the Forgotten Sons. Now, if this was the main roster, we would have seen that same package, but the "We forgot you" chants would have been erased. They would have been gone. We wouldn't have seen them, we wouldn't have heard them anymore. But when the package was played, you could clearly hear still, without no editing, "We forgot you" being chanted by the NXT crowd. So this is another thing that that NXT does better than WWE. They don't have to sit there and putting cheers or boos where they want you to cheer and where they want you to boo. If you chant something they don't want you to chant, unless it's something derogatory, of course they'll cut that out. But if it's something like telling the Forgotten Sons, "Hey, yeah, we didn't know you were there, we forgot you, and we were letting you know, hey, we forgot you," they cut it out. So they don't cut it out. Main roster would. So another thing that praise NXT for is that they actually are natural. When you say something like Charlotte Flair getting booed on pay-per-view, they come back to that highlight from that same exact pay-per-view, and oh my gosh, she just somehow starts being cheered. It's just how it works, and it's just another thing when it comes to NXT that I like. Io Shirai and Kairi Sane versus Amber Nova and the former Rebel of Impact Wrestling. Io Shirai and Amber Nova get things going. By the way, Kairi Sane and Io Shirai, I know they're best friends in real life, but man, these two, I can honestly say, are probably, because it came out months ago, about a month and a half ago, that Vince McMahon would probably not know what to do with Io Shirai and Kairi Sane. Basically, tonight's show showed you exactly what you do with them if you were to bring them up to the main roster. You have a new set of tag team titles in the women's division. These two work so well. They should be your WrestleMania, if they want to bring them up, which I don't know if they want to or not, but if you were to bring them up after the Royal Rumble, this would be a great thing for the tag team titles at WrestleMania. You have Io Shirai and Kairi Sane versus the winners, the inaugural winners of the NXT, of the Women's Championship, the Tag Team Championships. Boom, there you go. You have something. But Shirai and Nova get things going. Shirai with some nice flips to avoid her opponent and hits a dropkick before tagging Sane. Sane with a chop to the chest, neckbreaker lands. Sane with a sliding forearm in the corner. Sane heads to the top and gets distracted by Brooks, who then tags in. Brooks with a big knee to the face, who's taunting to the crowd. Tries for a suplex, but Sane with a spear. Shirai is tagged in, couple shots to the chest, a little drop kick to the face of Brooks. A 619, then she fights off Nova. Shirai with a springboard, double drop kick. Sane tags in, and Shirai drops Brooks. Sane with a pop-up elbow from Io Shirai So instead of doing the insane elbow off the top rope, she actually did a pop-up, like Shirai popped her up, and she did the elbow. Then Io Shirai stands in front of whoever she was pinning, and then they do an assisted moonsault for the 1, 2, 3. Io Shirai and Kairi Sane won this match, as you expect them to. I honestly say that these two would probably make one hell of a tag team when they come to the main roster. You don't know what to do with them. You have this women's tag team division you need to build. Here is a tag team for you. This is just easy. Give them something. And by the way, when they were making their entrance, Marinello did state that they did make a comment to the original women's tag team championships from back in the day when the Jumping Bomb Angels were, I think the Jumping Bomb Angels, which were a Japanese women's tag team, who were the women's tag team champions back then. Talking about something with that, and that they won them at the Royal Rumble, and with the Rumble coming up, and just mentions it about them. So anybody who's like, oh, these tag team titles are, who still believe that the women's tag team titles that we saw on Monday Night Raw, which are, by the way, the best tag team titles on the main roster, and only the NXT UK tag team titles beat them. Just saying. So it would be great to see Kairi Sane and Io Shirai come up to the main roster and actually be given a chance to be in the tag team division for the women. And it would strengthen the tag team division. Maybe, just maybe, Io Shirai and Kairi Sane are added and is the 6th and final team for the Elimination Chamber match if they make the WWE debut, which would actually, you couldn't do that, because if you made their debut, then they would expect them to win. But it would be interesting, and it would be great to see them make their main roster debut towards WrestleMania, and they would be ones feuding or, getting the shot for the tag team titles at WrestleMania. Even though I think Kairi Sane was in that Battle Royal last year. Moving on here, we had Adam Cole out there with Bobby Fish as he took on the Velveteen Dream. Cole distracts Dream to start off while allows Fish to get some strikes in early. Fish misses a kick as Dream tries to keep an eye on Cole and Fish at the same time. Fish with a shoulder block. Dream looks for a Dream Valley driver, but doesn't happen. He lands a standing drop kick. Fish with the kick to the face. Dream recovers. Springboard chop lands. Pin, but Fish is able to roll out of the ring. Dream with a springboard dropkick that sends Fish off to the apron. Cole checks on on Bobby Fish. Dream with a double axe handle all the way to the floor on Fish. They get back in the ring, clubbing blows to Fish's back. That's for you, baby. That's funny. That's for you, baby, he says to Adam Cole. Just gotta love the Velveteen Dream. Cole with another distraction. Fish with a dragon screw leg whip into the barricade. Then this is where Dream's knee, leg and knee gets compromised and is the focus of one Bobby Fish. Fish continues to work on the injured leg of the Velveteen Dream. Dream uses his other leg to kick Fish away. Knee strikes to the face. Dream to the second rope. Drop kick hits. Cover for the 2 count. Dream with a spine buster heads up to the top rope. Rainmaker doesn't quite. Purple Rainmaker doesn't quite connect. Fish counters into a knee bar. Looks like Dream's going to tap out. He actually smacks his hand once onto the mat, and you just hear Marinello go, oh, like he was going to tap out. Like that, thought that was the end of the match, but it was just one to try and get himself some leverage. He crawls to the rope, but Cole actually pulls the bottom rope away while the referee's back is turned. The ref finally sees him and yells at Cole. Dream rolls up Fish. He tries for the Dream Valley driver. Sends Fish into Cole on the outside. Fish back into the ring. Dream hits the Dream Valley driver finally. Goes up top, hits the Purple Rainmaker for the 1, 2, 3, and the Velveteen Dream beats out Bobby Fish. It was announced that next week the Street Profits will take on the Forgotten Sons, and Kairi Sane and Io Shirai will take on Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. These are going to be the 2 matches for the Aftermath show, and I'm just going to say it. This is probably going to be one of the best Aftermath shows we've had, because you have Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir versus Io Shirai and Kairi Sane. The Street Profits are out there too. The Forgotten Sons are just going to be forgotten after this. But it's going to be great to see what Io Shirai and Kairi Sane can do against Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. That should probably be a really good match. And I will definitely be here next week for it. Then we had Johnny Gargano and Ricochet come face to face. Ricochet comes to the ring, gets the mic to address Gargano. He noted how Gargano has said he was better than Ricochet, but then not 5 minutes later he super kicked Ricochet. He says 2019 Gargano is the same as 2018 Gargano, and in 2018 Johnny Gargano showed his true colors. Ricochet said he did the same thing and showed Johnny Gargano he's something that Gargano has not been since he was a singles champion. Gargano then comes out and says he knows what Rick is trying to do, get his emotions all riled up. Gargano said that last year's Gargano would have probably came down here like a madman and just stormed the ring. 2019 Gargano always has a plan. He gets into the ring and says this year has a plan. He looks for a cheap shot, but Ricochet fights him off out of the ring. From behind, Tommaso Ciampa attacks Ricochet. Gargano looks up at Ricochet for a moment, then continues swinging away at Ricochet. Ciampa smiles and claps away, but outruns Aleister Black as he attacks Ciampa. Gargano sees what Black is doing, and he gets back in the ring to super kick Black, and the crowd starts chanting DIY. Ciampa recovers and attacks Black once again. Gargano resumes beating up on Ricochet. Slingshot DDT by Gargano as Ciampa plants Black onto the mat. Ciampa grabs his title and backs up the ramp with Gargano looking over at him. The two make their way back up cautiously watching each other. Ciampa slowly puts his hand out, looks for a handshake, but Candice LeRae, who we haven't seen probably since the TakeOver War Games Aftermath show when she took on Nikki Cross, comes out and gets between them yelling, "No, we're not doing this again. Are you seriously considering this? No, we're not doing this." And she backs Gargano away. Tommaso Ciampa just looks on, and that was the end of the show. This was a better show than what we had last week. NXT hasn't had really what I would say a bad show. And when I classify a bad show, I mean something that's just like unbearable to watch, puts you to sleep, isn't something that you want. It's just like you're like, huh? Or it's like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. This show sucks. NXT's never had one of those really. But last week was a lackluster show. This week was them just driving it home that NXT TakeOver Phoenix is in 3 nights, and that was that. But coming back to what we saw at the end of this show with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano looking like they're building on to be the same page, this is going to be interesting because after the Aftermath show, which will be next week, they are going to be revving up and getting ready for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 5 or New York, whatever they're going to call it, which is going to be the next TakeOver, and is going to be on a Friday this time, which is the night before we see the Supercard of Honor with New Japan and Ring of Honor. So you damn straight that Triple H wants you to be talking about this show, not Phoenix, even though you're going to be talking about Phoenix, but he wants you to be talking about Brooklyn 5 or whatever they're going to call it. I'm just going to say Brooklyn 5. Brooklyn 5 all through WrestleMania week and the week after that and the week after that until you get to the next TakeOver. This show we're going to be revving up for is going to be probably the best TakeOver of all time, and I can honestly see, because this has 5 matches, I can honestly see them adding a 6th match to get that 3-hour time slot, because I don't want to see them stretch these matches out when we get to Brooklyn 5 any more than they need to, but you're going to see storylines that have been built up for months and months finally come to fruition. We'll talk about more of this tomorrow on NXT's TakeOver Phoenix's prediction show, which we will talk about a lot of things and what I see going on towards NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, which will be the two nights before WrestleMania this year, and then we have the Hall of Fame, yay. But that is NXT's review. It was a good show. Can't wait to see Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel. If they keep them as a tag team, one, it gets those guys something to do, because honestly, Fabian Aichner, outside of being the Evolve champion at one time, if he's still a champion, which I don't think he is, and Marcel Barthel was just a jobber to the stars. Yes, they lost tonight, but they are at a position right now that they are the jobber teams. But say 6, 7, 8 months from now, when half the tag teams in NXT right now are either broken up or sent up to the Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, NXT is going to need tag teams, and I guess Marcel Barthel and Fabian Eichner are working both NXT and NXT UK. So they are going to be a team to look forward to in the coming months. They did lose tonight to Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, but we see Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan becoming maybe a chance to have another shot at the NXT Tag Team Championships. Maybe they also go to the NXT UK division and have a championship match over there at the next TakeOver, which I hope is after WrestleMania. Honestly, I think NXT TakeOver for the UK should be the night before the pay-per-view after WrestleMania. So we have TakeOver Brooklyn, and then next month we have another TakeOver. I don't want to really see 2 weeks before WrestleMania another TakeOver like we got this time around. Spread them out. Don't have them so close together. A month apart would be great. There's going to be a lot to talk about after NXT TakeOver Phoenix, because we are going to be getting ready for possibly the biggest show of NXT's history, especially with Madison Square Garden hosting that G1 Supercard. There's going to be a lot of talk to look forward to. NXT is just getting started for 2019, and I seriously think we're going to see something great in NXT TakeOver Phoenix, and then whatever they're going to do in NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 5, I can't wait to see. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. This is the NXT Go Home Show. I will see you guys tomorrow for NXT's TakeOver Phoenix's preview and prediction show. Find me on Twitter, TheFrance. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. I will see you guys tomorrow.